Well, investigators say youth violence happens all too often. WRTV's Rachael Wilkerson spoke to the city's chief violence prevention officer about the task he and his team face and why he says it doesn't start with law enforcement.
When we're talking about gun violence, the numbers in themselves they're looking better, but that's not enough.
Ralph Durrett Jr. is the Chief Violence Prevention Officer for Indy's Office of Public Health and Safety. He says teenage violence, like the armed carjacking that ended in a crash and arrest of 4 teens, is unfortunate. He also says it is a reflection of the environment they're in.
So it's not necessarily the young person is out of control, it's the environment and the culture that they're in, and ultimately the adults are the cultivators and curators of those environments.
So how do you change it? Durrett says it starts with parents speaking up if they're working more than seeing their children, or even if they just need some help.
No one has not seen these kids. They know who they are. Ultimately, they likely know what they're doing and what they're involved in. So the best thing that we can possibly do is lean on our people, lean on our resources. And if you don't have those things, then that means that you have to be able to reach out.
Realistically, what is OPHS doing to help curb teenage violence?
I mean, that's my position. It's really me out in the community doing the work, really being that visible face for people to be able to recognize and see that there is an active person.
Durrett has been in this position for 6 months. He says they focus on addressing root causes like housing, mental health, food accessibility, and peacemakers. But he says there is a gap that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, some of the gaps is really around collaboration. The way the city of Indianapolis is kind of set up is where a lot of these organizations are competing against one another as it pertains to resources. Resources here in Indianapolis are abundant, so there's enough for everybody.
Rachael Wilkerson, WRTV.